Breathe and you know you're alive. Feel the beat of your heart. Well, life is a crazy way of turning everything upside down. So move with the time that you have. The world will keep spinning round. Don't wait for tomorrow. Live for today. Keep chasing the sunshine and go out and play.
Yeah. So we just finished the first Dark Age tournament. St. Luke apparently is the only thing that never dies. And yeah, it was a good game. Like, everyone got a win, which is good. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with how it went. How did everyone else find it went?
Yeah, good.
Awesome.
Good,
Yeah.
good.
Good, except for your guys.
Yeah, well,
Good learning experience.
Got to put you in place. So, said Johan, old man. Sorry, Father Johan. So
Good learning experience.
yeah, so for the first tournament, pretty happy with it. So we'll be back here again next year for the trophies.
It's been going really well. I'm Chris. I'm from Little Robot. We've got a shop just in Maiori. We basically do model kits, so primarily Bandai, Japanese model kits, Kotobukiya, paints, tools, pretty much everything under the sun. So no, it's been really, really nice. So everyone's quite positive and yeah, happy folk.
It's been really good. It's been a little quiet up here, but the people that have come through have been super enthusiastic about the bolt action so far. I'm pretty confident in saying about 90% of the people I've talked to will certainly consider picking up a copy of the game at some point. The more terrain, the better the game plays, because it makes you maneuver and it's harder to hit stuff, so you're closing distances and actually interacting. Otherwise it becomes a bit of a turkey shoot and you're just sitting there taking pot shots at each other at long range, and you know, can get a little boring in that respect.
My name is Micah Watt. Today I'm doing a few things actually. My role at Southern Hemisphere Open is to coordinate the role-playing floor, so I'm making sure the games run and DMs are prepared and people come and sign up for games and everyone has a good time. But I'm also an author and a publisher. This is my work here, so I'm showing it off and meeting people and making a few connections and generally getting my work out there and a little bit known. So, yep, that's what I'm doing.
Good afternoon, everybody. We're here today at the beautiful exhibition at Executive Secure, and we are from Advanced Airbrush, and we're running our own courses, of course, as well, from beginners to advanced. We also can provide any kind of custom airbrushings you need, from panel works to shop work to car works. We do one-on-one teaching maybe later on to learn airbrush itself. I'm here today doing some demonstrations with the airbrush on some of, and then we put some more some of those figurines, showing the people what to do or how to do it and the different possibilities what we have.
Beyond the Gates of Antares campaign weekend, the show 2018, we've had a good little turnout. Some awesome looking armies. Halfway through the first day worth of it now, with the GAR having delivered a solid beating over the invading Concord and Algorand forces. We'll be here again tomorrow, continuing the campaign. Then on Monday we will be upstairs doing demo games and hosting for the club I'd Crit That.
So obviously at the moment we're playtesting and demoing Gates of Antares. It's a very simple game done by Warlord, which is our high sci-fi. We're showing in simple players that know how to play bolt action, how to cross over into Gates of Antares. It has a very simple activation system. Basically it's dice. You pull out the dice, it's your activation, you pick a unit, and away you go from that point of view. The reason I look like this really sexy person here is because I'm a LARPer. Okay, I represent West LARP. We actually go around with foam swords, ta-da, a nice big foam sword, and whack people with them. And that's what I do.
I'm Wayne Harrison. I'm from Advanced Airbrush. We're from over east. We've just moved into WA, around Baldivis area, getting involved in as many things as we can here. Come to this show. It's a bit different. It's modelling. I do teach modelling. I teach body painting. I teach airbrushing on cars and planes and all different sort of things. So everything I can get involved in, I try to. That's why we've come along to this show. It's been good. It's good to see the different people that you meet here. There are a different type of people to the other people from other industries and areas, so it's great fun to get involved in it all. Yeah, we've been pretty well just doing some demonstrations today of what I can do, and I've been teaching upstairs as well for some of the modellers, just to give them some tips and tricks on how to use the airbrush within the modelling side of things. It's a little bit different to doing car painting and stuff like that. So yes, that's pretty well what we're all about. Our industry, our business has been going for over 30 years. I've been airbrushing for close to 40 years. So I've pioneer in the industry pretty well in this country, and probably hopefully will still be that for a little bit longer.
How long have you been in Perth then?
I've been in Perth now 3 years, but I fly from east to here. Sort of a thing that I found that when you move to Perth, no one told me, but when you move to Perth you become a fly-in, fly-out type worker. Business in Perth is a lot more relaxed, it's a bit slower, everything is just sort of a bit more laid back. I enjoy that side of it. We're here mainly for family reasons, you know, grandchildren, things like that. But over east it's a lot more full-on going, and I work probably 16, 17 hours a day over there, 7 days a week when I'm there. When I'm here I get to chill out at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, jump in my swimming pool, and relax with a glass of wine, the whole thing, and also get a day off on the weekends.
I'm here with Marco. It's pronounced right?
Marco, yep.
With The Lord of the Rings. It's actually the newest edition that's just come out within the last month, hasn't it?
Yes, on the 1st of September actually. So since then we have the Middle-earth strategy battle game that is now in play.
Yeah, we were just talking how previously every time a new army came out, that was the army you wanted to have because it was
stronger.
The power creep was happening, and this one they've actually balanced them all out quite well. It's
yes,
lots of pros and cons depending on who you pick, but balanced. So.
Yeah, definitely. So I mean, yeah, since the new edition, the armies all got army bonuses now, which they didn't have in the previous version. So the Lord of the Rings side actually didn't have them. The Hobbit side did.
Yeah.
So now everybody has an army bonus, and yeah, so the profiles changed a little bit as well. So they're all now pretty much on the same level, which really makes it interesting. So gives a lot of choices for sure what to pick.
Yeah. And the models are great, and if you like Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit, it's probably more the movies as opposed to anything else as well, the artwork comes from.
Yeah, I'm personally a huge fan of the movies, and that's why I got into the game, because it's just nice to move an Aragon or something like that around on the board. So yeah, the system itself is a little bit more made for skirmish battles. It's not like huge battles, but that makes it really interesting as well, because it's a lot of attention to detail. Yeah, it's a really, really nice gaming system.
And if the rumours are true, they are going to bring out the bigger battle system again, which, yeah, I don't think anyone's going to be keen on the movement trays that they used to have, but we'll see.
Yeah, I'm more keen. I mean, they're going to bring out another book where they basically do a rewrite of the Hobbit profiles, which comes towards end of the year, which is going to be very interesting, and I'm looking forward to that as well. And yeah, so I mean, for me personally, it makes the difference of between the systems, that having this on as a skirmish system. I'm not really a huge fan myself of the.
I'm very much skirmish based as well, but
yes.
Yeah, it's very interesting that they are revamping and fixing up some of the games that they.
Which is good, I mean, you always want to have changes, to keep it interesting.
Yeah.
So I think that's actually a good thing.
And one of the other things, I might be wrong, but the heroes have been given much more significant.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
They give depending on the hero you pick, they can affect the faction. So I know Theoden
Theoden,
yeah, he can bring in way more people because of his ability as opposed to other stuff. So,
well, for me personally, again, being fan of the movies, you want to have those big heroes that actually made a huge difference in the films.
Yes.
You want them on the board, and that actually didn't happen before they now changed the rules to Middle-earth strategy battle game. Because they could be taken out so easily as well. So there was a huge impact of magic onto them, where all by a sudden you have a major points hero and he couldn't actually move or do anything. So I think in this version they are a little bit more protected.
Yes.
It actually makes more sense to take them now.
Saruman was very good at freezing up the old heroes.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
No,
So-
it's a beautiful, beautiful created miniatures, and as we said, if you like the movie and you like, they've basically done a really great job of making all the miniatures look like the characters in the movies. So.
Yes.
Why do I play? Because, for one, I love not being myself. I love the opportunity to be someone completely different. So, be it D&D, L5R, World of Darkness, Call of Cthulhu, I love the chance to just not be myself for a period of time and just really get to live through the experiences of a different character.
Why do I play? Honestly, I don't get to play. I'm so busy running games as a dungeon master that I got to play a couple of months ago. Some DMs were kind enough to get together and run a game for me, give me a break. That was the first time in about 18 months I'd actually played the game as a player. I'm so used now to being a dungeon master or a games master, and not just for Dungeons and Dragons. I do My Little Pony, Tales of Equestria.
My brother Tristan and stepbrother Chris got me into it when I was a teenager, and now that I've grown up, I've got my own money and stuff, I've sort of gone into it further and enjoy playing it with friends and stuff.
What's your own favorite game?
My favourite, at the moment, I'm really getting into Age of Sigmar. It's fun just to beat heads instead of worrying about tactics and how to win and power gaming. It's just fun to roll dice and beat people a lot.
Why do I play? War games or colonial in specific?
Either.
I started wargaming when I was about 12 with Games Workshop doing 40k, and then I just stayed in it, and then my mate taught me when I was in Townsville, when I was in defence, the beauty of colonial, so I took it up then, and I have about 9 different colonial armies now, ranging from Zulu War, Indian Mutiny, Sudan, Afghan War. It's just a very interesting period, and it's not as one-sided as people like to think of it.
My dad bought me the blue box back in 1988. So after that I got the red box off a neighbour kid who didn't want it, and just started playing at home. And yeah, I started as a dungeon master. And I'm still a dungeon master. So maybe one of these days I'll get to play again. Maybe. Please.
Which one? This hobby? Well, I've actually been role-playing for 20 years, so I have been tabletop gaming for 20 of that as well. And it was just natural progression. LARPing, unfortunately, has been gateway in the last 2 months. So I'm a newbie to it. Okay, and how do I do it? A friend of mine suggested it, and I've enjoyed it.
My brother actually got me involved when we moved to Australia because we had to make a whole new set of friends. We moved from France. And so, yeah, I jumped in and started off with just painting. So I've been painting for 12 years now. And really, really enjoy it. Still, I do play a lot of the games and all that now as well, but painting is still my favourite. So it's really nice to be able to give back to the community and teach others to do some of the same skills.
I like all of it really. I got into it. It was actually, I was walking past Games Workshop in Fremantle, and I used to do like tanks and cars and boats and all those sorts of different things. And I looked through the window and I'm like, they've got model kits, but they're doing things with them. That's like, what is this? So I was hooked straight away because, you know, you build a car and a boat and a plane and it just sits on a shelf and collects dust basically, whereas you build one of these and it's not just building it, you then paint it and then game with it as well. I kind of like all of it. It's not like I'm just a painter or a collector. I'm kind of all in for the hobby really. So, but yeah, looking forward to getting stuck back into it. It's been quite a while since I've done it, so should be good.
What got me into gaming? Oh, sorry, no, I'm not in gaming. I just do modeling. There we go. Star Wars. So the company owner, he basically showed me a Star Wars kit, and that was it. That was all it. I'm done. I relax for the most part. It gives me a hobby that's productive instead of destructive in some way. It gives you something to focus on. Yeah, and you get to create. So yeah, no wrong parts.
I got into gaming about 25 years ago. I went to a gaming shop and there was a flyer up to join a group of D&D. I'd read a lot of novels as a child. I enjoy fantasy and I thought I'd definitely give it a go. And yeah, it was fantastic. Had a lot of fun and just been playing ever since.
At 20 years old, back then, there was the good old choose your own adventures from Steve Jackson and Ian Livingstone. That's how I got in. You got a nice little green book at D6 and you basically picked your own story away and rolled a D6 and you magically worked out whether or not you defeated somebody or you didn't. And then, of course, you got introduced to other games where complexity was added. And that was the bit. My first actual role-playing game was Cyberpunk. And I still love that, so I'm excited to hear about 2077. I'm looking forward to that, which isn't a role-playing game on the board. It's a PS4 title, Xbox title, so looking forward to that.
Do you do painting as well?
Miniature painting, yeah. So the white army on the Concorde, that's mine. I painted that, so I airbrush and normal paint. I wouldn't say I'm the greatest compared to George. George beats me hands down, but I'd like to think that I'm pretty good at it.
Yeah, 40 years ago, yeah, I started airbrushing, and it was pretty well just because I got into a lot of trouble when I was younger, as you did back then, and I needed to get away from the people and the things I was doing at the time, and airbrushing and art was actually something that I was doing, and airbrushing became a way of applying that art, which I found was quite different and interesting back in the day. It was very modern and very unique, you know, so it's something new on the horizon.
My first gaming experience came back in probably around 1990, give or take, with a Milton Bradley game called Hero Quest, which was a subsidiary product published by Games Workshop. And between that and a friend introducing me to Dungeons and Dragons, 2nd edition, that's where it all started for me personally. Emma's a little bit later into the fold. She's a convert because of me. But I always loved that fantasy and science fiction model, and then when Space Crusade came out about a year later, I was hooked on science fiction. I'd already obviously seen The Predator and Terminator and those sorts of movies as a youngster, so the opportunity to put it on the table and play, and now I'm teaching my kids that same love. And I've got, my kids have been to all 3 days, each of them has brought a friend each day, so we've got another generation of gamers following me, which is awesome. And the reason I love it is it brings us together. We, like I say, we have board game nights with our kids, whether it's Sushi Go after dinner, or whether it's Settlers of Catan or Carcassonne. You know, we're teaching our 6-year-old how to play these games, and she loves being part of them. And we might play a slightly modified version of the game, but the game's result isn't the reason we play. We do it because we don't want to sit in front of a TV screen or in front of an iPad. We want to have together time as a family. And whether you're doing that at a tournament with your tournament family, or whether you're doing it as a group of new friends across the role-playing game upstairs, or whether you're here with your family playing board games at show, we want to see you, because that's what we're passionate about. No worries, thank you.